Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here, and I hope this time it will be a better stream like the last week. Welcome to the Chatty Friday number 21. I can't believe it's already the 21st stream, although the second try or second attempt already. Let me tell you one thing right away at the beginning. I have done a lot of fixes in the meantime, and what I could fix in terms of software I did. In terms of hardware, I have ordered a new microphone, but it will take some time until it arrives. So I hope that once the microphone will be here, it will be like all completely fixed and everything fine. Again, apologies for the last week, and fair warning, it still sometimes drops, so the microphone sometimes still, like, let's say, says goodbye. I do hope that you can hear me, and I do hope that the sound is going through to you. At least I can see here, that's why I'm staring at the bottom of the screen, because I can see that the volumeometer is working, which was the major problem, that suddenly I have seen it stopped working and the microphone basically like disconnected, but on the software side. And I had to reset it by unplugging and replugging. There was no other way to make it work again. You could see it already last week. For now, what I did, like I said, I did a couple of fixes on the software side. My biggest concern was that I found some online forums where people were saying that they have this problem for almost a year. So I'm hoping that I will not end up with having a problem with the microphone for almost a year. And hey, Snake is here, and it did notify me. That's the problem. That's the second problem I want to mention with the notifications. But hey, welcome. It's nice to see you here. And again, also specifically to you, apologies for the last time. I know that we said that we are going to have some nice summer chat with some drink. The drink is still here, so I have it prepared. But back to the microphone before I forget. So I do believe that there is a problem both on the software as well as on the hardware side. I'm not sure what the exact problem is. As I said, I did a couple of fixes, like 11 or 12 things that I did change. The problem was that sometimes it still drops. It's thankfully not every couple of seconds like it was the last live stream, but it can happen that once in 15-30 minutes it will disconnect. Then I will just replug and plug the microphone back in and it should be working. So I do hope that the audio is currently good for you, that you can hear me. Please let me know if there's something going on which is not working. And Snake is saying, I forgive you, this time I put all my weapons away and cancel my flight. Oh my god. Okay, thank you very much. At least I'm really happy that you made it, and that you were able to join today as well. So again, my apologies. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, I'm not the only one. So I have seen a couple of other people who have the same problem, that the microphone just disconnects, and there's no easy fix. I have seen various, let's say, people suggesting various solutions, and for every single one of them, a different solution was working. So yeah, it was quite fun to try to fix this. I did also to test live streams in the meantime unlisted. I just tested it with somebody, and somebody who's more technically versed than I am. So I've tried to work on it together with another person who's, let's say, more technically versed. And I'm hoping that it will be fixed. But like I said, in the meantime, I did order also a new microphone just in case it's a problem also on the hardware side. So yeah, for the moment it's working. I would love to go through the stream today. The moment I see that the meter is off, then I will, of course, replug the microphone again. And I have your chat here as usual on this side, so I'm going to read it. And Snake is saying, I'm Irish and Native American. I take my drinking very seriously. Yeah. Oh, apropos Irish, that's what I wanted to show you last week already. I don't have like fancy glasses, so I have just like a stupid, simple glass. But I hope YouTube will not have a problem with this, but I do have something. It says Irish cream here. So yeah, it's not some super heavy drink, but I'm not really drinking any more the hard stuff, to be honest. I used to when I was much younger. Now I just spare myself the headache. So yeah, I have something nice and sweet here. So I'm going to pour a drink a little bit later on and then drink it. I'm hoping that we can still go through a couple of topics before I start drinking here. And like I said, I hope that YouTube will not have a problem with that because yeah, we need to be careful with some of the topics like alcohol and drinking and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do it a little bit slightly off camera. But I'm hoping it will be fine for you, Snake. Okay. Yeah, what I wanted to talk about as well. So there's been a couple of things happening. I'm sure many people have noticed the problem with PlayStation. So that's what I'm going to talk about. There was also some news about EA and BioWare, my favorite zombieware, BioWare topic. So let me talk a little bit about that as well. And then, hey, I'm open to any topics or any discussions on top of that. Like I said, I don't know how long the stream will be this time. I'm not, let's say, limited by time, but I need to be careful with the microphone. So if it starts to play crazy again, then yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. And Snake is saying, no, you're supposed to drink a masonry jar. You're on thin ice about me for giving you without the glass. So, sorry, I don't have that kind of jar here. I'm hoping that you are having a nice summer so far to come back to the summer chat and summer topic. I hope you have had a chance to do some vacationing. I did have some time off, so thankfully I could use a little bit of the nice weather and the nice summer weather that we had here. I know most people have been completely like cursing and unhappy because it's way too hot for normal people. I'm not a normal person. I was really happy with the 38, 39, 40 degrees Celsius, I will be honest. So yeah, I was outside and enjoying the sunshine. I'm one of the few crazy ones. The only, let's say, beings that were not really so fond of it are the pets here. So yeah, the doggos and the cats were a little bit suffering, unfortunately. But yeah, thankfully it's a little bit more cooler, like here inside than it is outside. And I have like a doggy pool, so they did take some baths as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I had some time off, and I hope that you had a chance to have some vacation as well. Yeah, about the vacation time. I was working, probably you have seen it on the review for Horizon Forbidden West, and then also I did the In a Nutshell. I'm done for the moment with the topic, and I not a bad game, but I just want to switch to something else finally, because it took me a crazy long time. I'm sure you have noticed that the review in total had like 1.5 hours. The first part was like 49 minutes or something, and the second was 44 minutes. And I just couldn't make it shorter because I when I started to write the script, I was just, okay, I need to mention this and I need to mention that. And I was mentioning a ton of things. Then I started to compare it with the previous game, with Horizon Zero Dawn, because I'm fond of that one too. And I realized, okay, it's the script is getting endless. And I did cut down a little bit from the script, but in the end I went with what it is. So I think it's the longest review I've done so far. Normally I was doing reviews like for half an hour, and this one is like 1.5 hours. So that's the longest review I've ever did. And then the In a Nutshell, that was just for the fun of it, because I had already the recorded, playthrough. So I said, okay, why not? So I did also the In a Nutshell. The problem is these things, both the review and the in a nutshell, are editing heavy. So I spend a ton of hours on the editing as well. And currently I'm at this point where I just say, okay, I'm happy that I'm done with it. Not for a longer time, anything to do with Horizon Forbidden West. I'm not saying game reviews or in a nutshell. I'm pretty sure I will be doing something for Mafia the Old Country, but more about that at the end. Horizon Forbidden West, like I said, wasn't a bad game, but for now I'm done with it. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, then have a look at it. And it goes hand in hand with the notifications that you've mentioned. And I've mentioned it already in June, I think, on the stream. So what YouTube has done, they did a couple of changes. And one of the changes that they have done is that they have stopped notifying the subscribers or all of the subscribers about the uploads on the channels that they are subscribed to, even if you have hit this bell icon. And they are saying they do it because they are basically only notifying people who are like frequently watching that particular channel, or who are actually like reacting usually on the notifications or to the notifications. I don't think it's really true. And it would go hand in hand with what you've just said, like you didn't get a notification. So I'm not wondering, because I have also the feedback from somebody else who's like watching my channel. And that person also told me like the notifications basically disappeared, and like she had to go like manually and check every time whenever I have uploaded something. She didn't get a notification, but she checked the channel regularly, and then she has seen that there is something. So I think they are trying like to improve YouTube for the creators, but in the end they are just improving it for the AI slop channels, to be honest. And the AI algorithm is not really working. One of the things is, like I said, the notifications that they stopped. And then the other thing is, and I also mentioned this already previously, basically what they are doing, they said, well, we will try to get the smaller channels out there like more and serve it to a wider audience. And what they are now currently doing is that they are giving the video the same number of impressions. So if I make a new video, let's say they give one of the vids, I don't know, 10,000 impressions. The problem is where and how and to whom they serve the video. So previously, when you were within the gaming niche, and you've made a video about a particular type of a game, let's say an RPG, then usually what YouTube did was, let's say, give the impression to, first and foremost, your subscribers. That's what they stopped doing already a long time ago, like last year or 2 years ago. And then in the second step, they offered the video at least like within the gaming niche, to the gaming audience, to people who usually watch gaming videos. Now, under the disguise of, we want to for you to have a wider reach, they are now serving the video still with 10,000 impressions, but the impressions are going to people who are watching, I don't know, fishing in Florida, or how to do a DIY gardening project, which naturally results in the feedback being really bad, because who in their right mind who's interested in gardening is going to click on a video about some game review? They're just not interested. So naturally, after the 10,000 impressions are done, and the YouTube algorithm is checking the outcome, it sees, well, the click-through rates, just a couple of people have clicked on the video from the 10,000 impressions. So clearly the people are not interested, and the video must be bad. So they stop offering it to a wider audience. And previously, of course, naturally, you had the same reach, but you had a much better, this click-through rate, and more people were watching your vids, and you had more views, because naturally you had a reach to the correct audience from the gaming niche. And now it's just currently like very broadly offered to basically anyone on YouTube. And that's why the views and the feedback and the comments and everything, it's just going to hell. So I'm not really fond of that, to be honest. I did make the channel first and foremost because I wanted to interact with people, and I really like it when people are commenting on the vids, because oftentimes it's, for example, a different perspective, or they mentioned, okay, hey, you forgot this and this, and there was this and this happening in the past, or maybe when you do a review, you could mention something else. It's just a good feedback, and it's a good comment, and I like those comments and, interacting. And it's just gone because naturally there's not so many people watching anymore. And what I have noticed, the worst thing is that whether it's a channel with 200 subs, 2,000 subs, or 20,000 subs, we're all getting the same amount of views. I was checking out some of the channels that I'm also following myself, and there are people who have like 20k plus subs, and they are getting the same amount of views as I am getting. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it's awful, especially for the people who like to have this kind of feedback. And maybe sometimes it's like a good. It gives me good ideas when I see some comments. I also get an idea for a good topic that I could pick up and make the next vid about, and it's just not there anymore. So I think the YouTube algorithm is just going crazy, and it's not really so great anymore. So yeah, I'm not wondering that you didn't get a notification. I'm talking a lot now, yeah, but let me check. When are you going to let people jump on with you? When are you going to let people jump on with you? Lol, and I live in Florida and work outside, so I'm used to it. So fishing in Florida. Halo was a big disappointment. Oh yeah, there was lots of discussion about it as well. Yeah, and that's bad because I'm always on your channel and it should have notified me. Yeah, thanks, by the way. It's great to see that you are checking out the channel regularly. But like I said, I mean, they are stopping with the notifications. I think it's to the detriment of the creators and also to the viewers, because if you are subscribed to a channel, you do subscribe for a reason. You are interested in either the person or the topics or the particular game. There are channels which are dedicated to just a specific game. So naturally, when you subscribe to them, you want to see what they are making the next vid when they make a vid, and you just don't get notified anymore. And it's just awful. And then when you open your homepage, you see a ton of, let's say, AI slop videos or channels, which are having like millions of views and millions of subscribers, and you can clearly see it's like AI slop. So why am I not wondering that the YouTube AI algo is promoting AI slop? Yeah, it's just not great. Yeah. And Snake is saying, side note, I live in Florida and I have been hearing from everyone use Florida in examples for everything. Did I miss something? Did Florida do something I don't know about it? Lol. Okay, so I have to mention Florida more often then. But by the way, I hope you're not having the same kind of crazy, nasty weather as we have currently. So nasty, crazy in terms of very, very, very hot and the people complaining about it. I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah. It's August, so I'm guessing that you have like the peak heat wave as well. Good. Let me start maybe with the topics. It's about time. I was talking quite a lot. I hope that it will be working when I switch the screens and the microphone doesn't say goodbye in the meantime. So let me just maybe check if I can switch, and hopefully it will be working. And no, that's not what I wanted. This one. Nope. What is it? Display capture. Yeah, but I want to have this one. And then let me change here. Okay, and you don't see my face. See, I have to play around with everything because everything was completely turned off and broken, and I had to like rework and bring back everything. And set up new filters and stuff like that. So for whatever reason, it's just all gone to hell. But I hope you can see my screen now. It's gazillion tabs open, like gaming Birch, I think, said at a certain time. And Snake is saying, yeah, we're having the heat problem too and people being nasty, but I live in Florida, you know, Jurassic Park Jr., I got bigger things trying to kill me. You mean like the crocs? I hope they are not right at your doorstep, because I have seen quite a few vids where like people are sitting in the garden and then you can see like something like a river or a pond right next to the garden and then you see the crocs there. So it's not so funny. I wouldn't want to have like my pets outside on such a spot, to be honest. Yeah. Good. Let's start with EA. That's the funny one. So as you can see, the Saudi Arabia's divisive EA buyout approved under EA merger rules. So the EA had to agree to the merger as well. I believe most of the countries and had to agree to that. And also, aside from the countries and like EU and some regulatory restrictions that have been put on the merger from the US, also like EU had to be asked. Basically everybody who has like different set of restrictions or rules on these kind of mergers, I think, like if you want to do it worldwide, which in this case it was, you have to go like through several instances of approvals. Whether it's the Union, whether it's the US, whether it's some other countries. And it was approved, to my surprise, like without any further restrictions in the EU, which was quite like weird because to be honest, we know who's behind the buyout, and the EU is not exactly fond of all these people who are behind it. So I was expecting some restrictions and there were none. And that was quite a surprise, to be honest. So that one got approved. And Luis is here. Oh my God, I haven't seen you for a long time. So hi Luis. Hi, nice to see you here. And Luis is saying, one thing I've noticed is that the heat seems to have scorched all the mosquitoes. No, at least not here. I was yesterday quite late out in the garden and I was like watering the plants over the like sunset, and I was half eaten by the mosquitoes. So no, they are not all gone. At least not here. And also a great evening to you both. Got about 10 minutes on the train. Oh, so you are on the train again. Oh, wow. So thanks for joining. That's so great to see you. And I can see Olivia. Hey, Olivia. Thank you for joining. So I'm happy that you could join as well. Like I said, I'm hoping that the microphone will not say goodbye today. It might disconnect maybe once or twice. I'm hoping not more often. And if it does, I will just physically replug it. So just give me a couple of seconds. But so far, it seems to be working fine. And Snake is saying, I'm actually really happy Saudi Arabia made buying it. Maybe Mass Effect won't get fucked over. And the gators are cool. We call those swamp puppies. Oh my God. Oh, so you call them swamp puppies right now? Oh, good Lord. I'm not sure I would call them puppies, but okay. Sounds good today. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've tried like several fixes, but as I said before you joined, FYI, I have fixed everything, let's say, what I could on the software side, but I have also ordered already a new microphone just to make sure that it's not also something on the hardware side. So I will try to test out the new microphone. Although, by the way, I did test this existing microphone on another computer, and I didn't have any kind of issues over there. So that's why I'm thinking it's rather connected to something on this current PC. So just FYI. And yeah, so let's continue with the EA stuff, because let me just switch and show you what is here. So The Commission approved the move under its EA merge regulation rules after concluding the deal will not raise competition concerns because of a perceived limited impact on competition in the markets where the companies are active. Okay, I mean it's a worldwide thing, so I wonder about this wording. To be honest, I wonder what's really behind it. Probably a lot of this, to be honest. So yeah, just FYI. And I will, of course, naturally post again the links in the description below, so you can read it for yourself. And just FYI again, as a repeat, so PIF will hold a 93.4% stake in EA if the buyout is approved. It is already, so we already know that it is. So if I switch here to Culture Crave, it also is already officially, it will become privately owned company next week. That was, I believe, posted last week, July 30th. So right now it already is. And the deal was worth 55 billion. The main investors are Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners. I did talk about it in another video already, so I'm not going into all of the details. But yeah, it got all the regulatory approvals. Okay. Naturally, there are various reactions. Some are positive, some are more negative, and I think a lot of people are saying, okay, it will be good for, getting rid of all this DI woke nonsense. Who knows? I don't know. Hopefully. But I think it can rather happen. And I think that's something that is, that is more likely to happen, is that they will get rid of the studios that are not like focusing, on EA Sports. Where they make their most money is EA Sports and FIFA and stuff like that. So they have these kind of games where they make a ton of money. They really don't give a flying fuck about stuff like BioWare and one stupid small Mass Effect, at least for them, because for them it is, in the bigger picture, it is something really small. And it also was confirmed already to me with the one post that I have seen, and that was the post, let me just switch a little bit again, and that was, this one, which was just from yesterday. So there was a post that EA could be looking to sell BioWare and other IPs following Saudi Arabia takeover. And it's currently just, let's say, a rumor, but the rumor is already, let's say, mentioned in multiple articles from multiple people on multiple channels. So I think there will be something behind it that could be true. And you have a lot of people who are then wondering, okay, what's going to happen with Mass Effect 5? Is it going to be still finished? Is it still going to be worked on by BioWare? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah. And I can hear the doggo is walking around. Let me just see if my microphone is still working. It's still working. That's good. And I don't know if this will be good or bad, to be honest. I mean, at least in one sense, it will be good in terms of probably will not really see that much DI stuff happening. On the other hand, I don't know if we will see like the sellout of all these kind of IPs and studios, which are just part of EA, but which really didn't make that much money, and which are not as interesting for the Saudis as the EA Sports portion of EA. So who knows what's going to happen here, to be honest. Let me switch back to see your comments. The swamp puppies are really cool. You just got to keep small animals and kids away, but that's why my daughter already knows about guns and knives. Keep her alive. Okay, yeah. If you are in Florida with swamp puppies, then it's a good idea, I guess. Yeah, and you definitely need to keep, like you're saying, kids and small animals away. But still, I'm not sure if I would like to have like swamp puppies as my neighbors, to be honest. And also Snake is saying, look, all the lefties are going crazy about the EU letting this happen, and if the lefties hate it, I love it. Yeah, similar sentiment here. And Louise is saying it will certainly be enlightening to see how they handle things. I'm wondering, because specifically about BioWare, and you can see my comment here on the screen, is I'm wondering if someone's going to buy them. If yes, then for how much? And if they are just not, let's say, using the IPs in the end, because they're probably going to buy the whole package, let's say BioWare, including all its IPs, and then maybe they will say, okay, studio, let's just dismantle the whole studio and say goodbye to everyone, and they will just keep the IPs. And then whoever it is who buys them, and then they will just do something with the IPs. I don't know. It's quite likely, to be honest. And I'm not sure if Mass Effect 5 is how far it is along the way, because we haven't heard really anything new. I mean, it's quite some time since we have seen some trailers, so I'm really not sure whether the Mass Effect 5 game is already that far that, let's say, it would be too late to be stopped developing, and it would just make more sense to keep it going and just release the game. Or if somebody buys BioWare and looks into it and says, okay, yeah, it's currently at a stage where it just does make sense, and just stop everything and goodbye. So I think that's also one of the things that a couple of people have mentioned that they are a little bit afraid of, that Mass Effect 5 will not be even made. Which, to be honest, wouldn't surprise me. But I guess it will depend on the buyer, yeah. And Louise is saying, but an aggressive overcorrection is never good. It's like this pendulum swinging left and right, and the more extreme the more extreme it was in the beginning, the more extremely it's going to swing to the other way. And like you're saying, it's never so good. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. But yeah, let's look. So this happened, and the rumors are ongoing. I will definitely keep you posted on the rumors when I have something more, but let me check what else do we have. Also, I think there was, by Eurogamer, mass layoffs expected at the EA, and I think that's something that people have been expecting anyway, because of the debt that they have. I think they are starting like every day with minus 12 million or something like that. So it was like every single day. So it was like a crazy amount. And they have to do something to, get the money back and pay off their debt. So I think mass layoffs is not something that we would be surprised about, to be honest. So yeah, people have been reacting, of course, naturally. Leftist virtue signaling, yeah. So people have been either very skeptical or have been very happy about it. There have been some people who have mentioned that they have some concerns. Oh yeah, like I said, I will post the links. You can read all the stuff then for yourself. And the next topic then what I have is already the PlayStation one. So let me go to the PlayStation topic. But before I do so, let's already do one round of the summer drink here. So let me just pour something. If you have something at hand, please do so as well. And there's more still in the bottle than I was expecting. It's nice. I mean, the problem is the bottles are so dark, you don't see what's in them and how much is still left. You can only guess. So I guess there's more than I expected. So hey, cheers to all of you. Thanks for joining the stream again. And like I said, I'm hoping you're having a good vacation time and summertime. So 2 summer vacations. Okay, let's continue with the PlayStation. And I'm sure you already heard it from 1,000 other people and in 1,000 other spots. PlayStation will stop producing discs in January 2028, moving to digital only. Naturally, there has been a ton of discussions going on. People have been pissed. I have quite a lot of reactions related to that. But before I go through all of it, I just wanted to mention a couple of things from my side as well. And maybe let me switch to the other screen so you can see me like this and I can look at my notes in the meantime. Because I did write down some stuff, which I think is important, and just so I don't forget something. So I believe in terms of the digital only, it was something that was coming. And I don't think that the majority of the people have, let's say, not expected it to a certain degree. Physical is still important to me as well. It is important to a lot of players and a lot of gamers because it really guarantees that you can play some of the games in the future as well, even if they are no longer being sold, even if everything's going to be discontinued, you still have the physical disc and you can play. But if you think about it, especially during the lockdowns that we had a couple of years ago, because of the unspecified cough. Let me put it this way. I don't think if YouTube is not reacting badly to calling it what it is. And we could see that everything basically has started to move more quickly towards like digital only, because people were locked inside. Basically, nobody went out. Nobody was really buying anything physically themselves. And most of the games have been downloaded digitally, and especially because a lot of people had a ton of time during the time, because there have been also, of course, layoffs, or some people, couldn't work. I don't know, restaurants have been closed and stuff like that. So it was an increase in buying the digital. And I think that was like a boost to these kind of companies to say, oh, well, people are buying digital more anyway. So why to keep the disc? And I think that was one of the reasons why they started to discontinue. I mean, it was already a long time coming, as you could see, like the whole switch in terms of media, how we are, let's say, consuming it. Everything's kind of moving towards this subscription model, whether it's, movies or music or games. And that's why I'm just saying I wasn't surprised. I'm not saying it's good. That's exactly not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying I wasn't necessarily so surprised that it was moving into this direction, and especially, like after the lockdowns that we had. So I think that was one of the reasons. And then I have my notes here. So let's not forget that previously, when you were buying when you had the two choices, let's say the digital and the physical, I think that they realized very quickly that they can sell you the companies, the AAA companies, the publishers, they've realized that they can sell you the game just digitally for the same price as they used to sell to you with the physical disc. Only the cost for the production of the physical disc, they had to take those. So when they sold something for, I don't know, $50, $60, $70, or even $80, a portion of that went to the cost of producing the physical disc. Now, when they are selling everything digitally, everything stays in their pocket. They don't have to pay any extra cost for anything physical. So from a perspective of all these companies, I don't want to say greedy companies, but yes, most of them are. It's the perfect win-win situation. People are still going to buy the games. They are still going to pay that price as they used to, only now they are saving some costs because they don't have to make the physical disc. So that is the point number 2, which I think is contributing a lot. And because people, let's say, were not protesting enough, so people were still buying the games, even for the higher price, the companies just went ahead with it. Like, why not? People are still buying, no? So it's kind of a reaction to also how we as gamers have been behaving, And then regarding the PS Store or regarding the games, so I think one of the reasons they will also leave the PC market, and that also still goes hand in hand with this, let's say, cost saving, is whenever they ported their games onto PC, they had to pay for the PC port. Somebody had to port the game. And they also had to account for one thing, that if they are selling, let's say, through Epic Game Stores or through Steam or through GOG, those platforms have taken 30% of the sale. So again, PlayStation didn't see the full amount. Now, if they make everything exclusive, they just say bye to the PC market and they keep everything just on the PS Store, they get the full revenue. If they sell only digitally, they also don't have to invest into making a disc. So again, more money for them. I think it's like, from this perspective, is logical. It's absolutely shit for us as gamers, as consumers. But for them, it's perfect, and it's a logical. It's a logical evolution of the trend that was already previously there. I think that's the problem. I can see you're writing a lot, so let me read through your comments. And Snake is saying, I hate the idea of the no disc. I may have to play another plane, right? Yeah. And Olivia is also saying, I hate this. I hate this move so much. Physical discs are so cool. Any game that is a great experience for me, I always buy on disc after I play it on PC. See, most of the people are willing to invest also in the physical media if they are happy with the game. So, yeah, might have something to do with the big studios producing lately quite a ton of shit, to be honest. So, who would want to invest into a physical disc for shit games like Dragon Age: The Veilguard, for example? Just as an example, okay? So, it's not PlayStation related, but in general, you get my point. And Snake is saying, if we go no disc, then we need a law stopping them, take it away for anyway, because of you and me, about some streamers lost access to some digital only games. Yeah, I'm coming to that. There is actually one of the reactions. What was happening was also like they lost some access, and in general, there's a bigger downside to that. But again, let me go back to that. Because they said something on stream and they're like, we do not condone this, so they can't play that game anymore, but they didn't get the money back. Yeah, that's also the problem. You don't get the money. Somebody just has the ability to take away something you've paid for. Yeah, I'm not sure I would like to have, let's say, this kind of future, to be honest. Louis is saying, yeah, you're still buying, no? The Nintendo method. Yeah, that's exactly what PlayStation is counting on. And Olivia is saying, we should own our games. I've stopped buying PS games for the foreseeable future. Like if the PS6 is over 1K, I feel more people are going to move to PC. At this point, it's when the consoles are starting to be so expensive, naturally, as they are still not at the same level as a gaming PC, not at the same. They are already coming very close to that. So if I have to choose then whether I invest $200 or $300 more or euros more and have a gaming PC where I can play whatever I want and I'm not tied to just one store, then people will rethink that. Like, if I already have to invest that much money, I rather invest $200 or $300 more and I just buy a gaming PC and not a console where I'm restricted, right? And Snake has sent me $2. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Thank you. it's a nice gesture. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah. So and the $2 is to have a big old drink on me, and it wasn't letting me comment. Okay, let me have the drink then. Let me drink again. I hope you're having some too. Yeah, it's very sweet. That's why I like it, but it's like shutting your mouth. Not so great for a stream. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so this was the another bit. So once we had the lockdown, we had the additional costs with the discs, and then we had also the problem that the PC ports were costing them also money for Steam, GOG, etc. We already see people losing some of the access, and that's one of the things that I want to show you. But I just want to like go through the points that I have written down from my side. Yeah, there was a good point somebody mentioned. There is a whole market for secondhand games, and there are a lot of people who just cannot afford to buy the games like for the original price, and they still would like to play them, you know. And not everybody is so well off that they can buy the game right away when it comes out, or they can buy the full for the full price the game. So there was a big market for the physical games, and that one is going to basically, let's say, die, because there will be no more physical discs for the newer games. Of course, you will still have the older ones, and those will still be available for trading and for selling, etc. But no more the newer ones, unless somebody does what was already suggested by some people in terms of GOG. And that is, and also GOG has said that, but I'm not sure whether this would be, let's say, the correct way how to do it. But you can still, because GOG has DRM-free games with offline installers. So you can technically still make your own, let's say, physical disc from any game that you buy on GOG. So you can just simply get the offline installers and put them on an external drive, or burn them on a disk if you are still having a computer that's capable of doing that. I still do. And you can basically store them. If you want to store them in like I said, in an external hard drive, everything's fine. You can still come back to the game later and play it whenever you want. Like I said, offline installers. And if you are interested in knowing more about it, I will of course also like link some stuff in the description below, so you can check it out. But I think that's one of the things that GOG is like marketing very heavily right now. So I'm going to show you that as well. They are really focusing now on, let's say, using the current bad mood in the gaming community after this announcement from PlayStation, and they are making marketing for some of the features that they are offering, and this one was one of them. So technically, if you have a friend who doesn't really have that much money, you could give that person the offline installers. I don't want to, like, potentially, okay? I don't want to say this is the correct way to do it. It's not. Okay, let me just reiterate that. But there are various ways how you can then, let's say, share something. Also, another thing that Steam was using or doing right now after the announcement, they have suddenly announced that the gifting is now made easier for people who would like to gift the games to their friends who maybe don't even have a Steam account. You can now do that if you just have an email account or email address. So again, if you have friends who maybe are not able to buy the games for the full price, and you would like to help them out, you can also give them a game through Steam now. You were able to do this already before, but only to people whom you have as friends on Steam, and not just everyone, and not also to people who are not like having a Steam account. But now you can, so I'm going to show you that as well. Let me go back a little bit to what you were saying. So Louise is leaving. Have a great evening, everyone. If you happen to be particularly talkative, I might catch the last couple of minutes. Good. Have a nice evening, and thank you for joining, Louise. And have a wonderful weekend in case you don't join anymore. So thank you for being here. Good. Let me switch again the screen. Hopefully it will be still working, and hopefully the microphone will just not give up on me. Completely. Let me just change. And okay, so let's go back to the screen. So yeah, somebody made fun. I love the memes that came out, of course. Me in January 2028, gamers PS. You can see down there splitting. Yeah, a lot of people are extremely angry. I'm not sure if this is going to last, especially considering the upcoming GTA 6, to be honest. So that's like one of the things to keep in mind. And also there were a couple of posts from other like gamers that I'm following on X specifically. I mean, X is a great source of information. I really like to be there on the platform. Yes, there is a lot of nonsense being posted there as well, but it depends on whom you are following. So I tend to follow like mostly people who are posting some interesting gaming stuff. And it looks like Sony has probably told its employees not to comment on this situation at all, which would not be so surprising to me. So yeah, they're currently still like hoping that it will just like go away. So people will be forgetting that they have announced this, and when GTA 6 comes out, everybody will be so hyped up for GTA 6 that everybody will buy it anyway, and everything will be back to normal. So I think that's what PlayStation is currently hoping for. I mean, I wouldn't be so sure. And then, of course, what happened, and I think that was the nice... let's say nice option, like to show the people what could potentially happen if they are going only to all digital. PSN was down on July 24th across all regions. Let me just check the microphone if it's still working. Yes, I can see it's still working. So PSN was down on July 24th. If you have a PSN account, you have probably noticed if you try to play some game on that particular day, it was just dead and gone. And I wasn't surprised when it came out that actually the group Anonymous was behind it. So it was hacked by Anonymous simply to show, like they wanted to show the people what will happen if physical will be removed and people will be going just to digital only. Basically, you will lose access to your games whenever either they get hacked or whenever they decide that they just simply cut you off from your games and movies and whatever, right? So they wanted to demonstrate what it will look like, and they just wanted to make the gamers like feel it, this will be the consequence. So they hacked the servers and shut them down to show the people. So it was announced by them, and they also have made a post on X. The end of owning your games is coming, and I think it's a very good post. It's long. It's a long one. I'm not going to read through all of it. But yeah, it's worth checking out. I will be linking it below. There's a lot of good points, and I think this is one of the reasons why people are so wary about it, because it just goes into the direction as what was it, the WEF said, like you will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, it's actually it's really coming very close to that, and I don't think people will be happy. And yeah, the pushback has already started. That was mentioned here as well. So as you can see, it's an long post. There is something which and also Xbox online services were down. That was just 3 days later on July 27th. Again, I wouldn't be so surprised if there was some hacking in the background going on, and both the PS players as well as the Xbox players have seen what it looks like when they suddenly lose their access. And yeah, as a result, there is a blackout being called by some of the people. So they are planning a blackout in August. Let me just see whether you are still there and the microphone is working. Yes, you are. So let me switch in the meantime to see your reactions before I read something from this blackout. So Olivia is saying we have to hope more publishers put their games on GOG. Yeah. And Snake is saying, remember how hard the gaming industry's fight stop killing games law. Exactly. So it's also about game preservation. And I think it wasn't necessarily related to games, but I think, what was it? Was it actually PlayStation? I think somebody, it was PlayStation, I think a week or two ago, there was licensing expired for a couple of movies, and movies that people have paid for plenty of years ago. And the licensing has now expired. And all these movies have been removed from the people's libraries. So even though you have paid for the movie a couple of years back already, you lost the access and the movie is no longer there because the licensing expired. So people are getting screwed over also, not just in the gaming area, like I said, but also with the movies. And that's the problem. Like, we are going to lose also access to games this way. It's not just about losing access, like when PlayStation or Xbox goes down. So it's not just about the servers going down. It's also about losing certain games when, I don't know, the game gets too old and the upkeep, the maintenance, or the upgrades and the patches are getting too much. Yeah, maybe PlayStation or Xbox or some of the other companies will just decide, oh yeah, let's just get rid of the thing and let's just purge it, and then suddenly a game you had for 10 years and you love to play will be gone, even though you have paid for it and it was sitting in your library for 10 years and you were actively playing it. It will be just gone because, hey, somebody on the other end of the line decided to do that. So I think that's the other problem that we will be seeing. It's the games will be lost, the movies will be lost, the games will be lost. That's why I'm praising GOG so much, because they are also very focused on the game preservation. They are really like focusing on keeping up a lot of the games. If you become the GOG patron, I decided to do that. It's like €5 a month, so you can just give them monthly €5, and then, for example, you can join their Discord server, and they are voting there which games should be the next ones which get like preserved by GOG. And also that means that they will like maintain them, that you will have access to those games, even old games, again DRM free with offline installers. So I think it's a great initiative what they are doing. They are focusing on something a little bit different than Steam. And when they turned private, when the original founder has bought them from CDPR, he also said that he would like to focus on this game preservation. They are aware that they are not really opposing Steam that much. They are not like a force to be reckoned with in terms of like new games. Steam is still like number one in terms of the stores for PC games at least. But GOG is therefore trying to like focus on rather the game preservation and the older games. And although I have to say, they are also offering new games whenever the publisher and the studio that created the game are willing to have the game on GOG, meaning DRM-free and with offline installers. And there are some that have agreed to that. So, for example, you can find Baldur's Gate free there. You can find, I don't know, what was it from the newer games? Expedition 43, I think, is there. So there are also new games available on the GOG. But again, it depends on the publisher and the studio if they agree to have the game available DRM-free with offline installers. And not everyone wants to do that, of course. Many of those companies are trying to keep, the access to their games limited, let me put it that way. So this is exactly why I value GOG. So whenever I have a chance to buy my games, I first and foremost look at GOG. If the game is there, I'd rather buy it there. If it's not, then I go to Steam and buy it on Steam. And by the way, they are also keeping up with the pricing. What I have seen that when there is a summer sale, it's running at the same time both on Steam and on GOG. And if, for example, I don't know, Baldur's Gate 3 is on sale on Steam, it is on sale on GOG as well for exactly the same price. So there's another reason for me why to buy through Steam when I can have it through GOG. So just FYI, I'm doing a lot of marketing here, but sorry, I think it's a good platform, and I think they are really like working more in favor of gamers. Valve is trying to do that as well, of course, naturally, through some other or different means. I will show you as well. But GOG is very focused on that game preservation. And the more things like PlayStation and Xbox we are seeing and where it's going, I think the more important it is. And Snake is saying, you know what my conspiracy theory is, why they're trying to get all the books on Amazon and digital, because they want to erase cultural, because if they can take away the history, just like games and movies, after a while you can text eliminate it, makes it easier for the commies to pretend it never. I 100% agree with you. I know what you're trying to say. It's basically the same what I have seen here actively before 1989. So when we were seeing how, for example, history books have been rewritten by the leading party. So anything that was not consistent with what they are trying to, let's say, push to the broad masses, that was adjusted or changed. And unless you really had like a printed book in your hands that was really depicting what was really happening back in the day, or unless it was, let's say, some recent history which had still people alive that have been through the time period and who were eyewitnesses and who could tell you what actually really happened during certain time periods and during certain events. The moment those people are gone, the moment the printed books are gone, those people who are leading can then decide to rewrite whatever they want and however they want. And I think that's the problem. And that's why the physical media is so important. That goes for basically all physical media. Yeah, so I agree with you on that one. Yeah. And Olivia is saying, I'll be getting the Expanse through GOG, I think. Yeah, I already wishlisted it on GOG. So I will be getting it there as well. And John is here. Hey, John, hi. Nice to see you. I'm happy that you could join as well. Thank you for being here. Valve will be okay until Gabe has to step down. Yeah, that's another point. So even though you have companies like Steam, like GOG, and even though they have like certain, let's say, programs in place for the moment, where they are trying to preserve whatever they can in the correct state, let me put it that way, sooner or later the people leading Steam, leading GOG, who have these kind of visions, they will have to step down, they will retire, maybe sell the companies, whatever, and then you will have someone else in charge. And if that someone else has a different vision or a different view or a different opinion, then you will already start to see that there is some change coming. And again, unless you have something physical, you can count with it that the history will be changed. Let me put it that way. So yeah, like I said, I have seen it firsthand. I was just a teenager back then, but I still remember it quite a lot. And currently I can see it already happening in some countries with certain things. And I'm just not so happy when I see history repeating itself within just my lifetime. And I can imagine what it will be like when everything will be just digital and everything gets rewritten. I mean, you know what's a good example? Yasuke and the Wikipedia entry. It just got like written in by whomever, and it was just made up nonsense. And yeah, but it wasn't the Wikipedia, so it was basically recognized by millions of people. Well, it's in Wikipedia, so it must be true. That's the problem. When you have digital access to something that millions of people rely upon, then you can change it however you want to, and then millions of people will be just parroting a lie. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. Let me go back to the other screen, and so the of course the people are still pissed at PlayStation. So there is a PS Blackout planned in August. It is a reaction to the ending of the physical discs in 2028, and with that we are calling on PlayStation players to participate in an economic and gameplay blackout from Sunday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. local time through Sunday, August 30th at 7 p.m. local time. Players can participate by turning off their consoles or logging out for 7 days. We feel that this period gives publishers and developers minimal impact while still giving players a voice. And I have to recite here someone else, or I will show a post from someone else who I have to agree with. It is a nice sentiment. I agree that something needs to be done. Again, I'm not saying that the removal of the physical media is good. You know already that it's what opinion I have. But I'm very skeptical whether this will have any kind of real impact. Even if all of the people would be turning it off for 1 week, it will be a signal to the PlayStation that there is a portion of gamers that's willing to, let's say, block them or, do this kind of things like protesting or protests. But will it really make a dent in their numbers and in their revenue? I don't think so. And that is the only thing that is really important for companies like that. They as long as they don't feel it really in their pockets, I'm not sure if this will be really like making any dent into their revenue. Let me just check the microphone. And on the other hand, like I said, there is this one thing, GTA 6 is coming. So many people have been waiting for so many years for it that I guarantee you that many of those people who are now angry and protesting will forget about it the moment GTA 6 comes out. And Nure actually made a good post about it. And I think she's like spot on here. So the Sony CFO was saying that player backlash over PlayStation ending physical disc production has had no impact on their business so far. Yeah, we'll see after this blackout, so that's why I was mentioning it. It will be by the end of August, so we'll see whether this 1 week does something, but she is having a good point. Let me translate it into English. Our customers have spent years proving they have no fucking standards. Every anti-consumer decision is followed by the exact same cycle: outreach, excuses, pre-order. Half of you are already defending this decision for us, saves us a fortune on PR. Some of you genuinely believe owning less while paying the same is progress. We'd like to personally thank you for your service. I think it's sarcastic as hell, but it's really spot on. The people calling this anti-consumer will be drowned out by the people explaining why it's actually a good thing. We'll see you at the checkout, and I would like to add, especially when GTA 6 comes out. So I do believe that she's right in that regard. Like I said, I think it's good that people are like trying to set some kind of signal to PlayStation. But at this point, PlayStation is just such a huge, like, mammoth company that I doubt that it will be mattering to them. Not 1 week of a blackout, honestly. And not when GTA 6 is about to come out. So, yeah, let me switch maybe back and just switch the screens and see what you're writing. Snake is saying this is what we get for letting women to vote. I don't know if some people will be pissed. I think it's because so many women are now in gaming and they are really trying to change it in a way that it has become something very different than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's a pity, to be honest. I'm not blaming just women, of course. I'm myself a woman, so it's not just like about blaming women for everything going to hell. That is BS. But especially in gaming, I think a large portion of what's currently going on with this, we cannot say this, we cannot do this, we have to be more inclusive, we have to be like this, and everything's starting to be like more emotional, and all this woke and DI nonsense that's being pushed is because of this, just not to offend somebody's feelings about something in a game. And I think that's exactly what's coming from women. Sorry to put it this way, but in my opinion, it is the problem that guys, when they are playing, they just they are used to throw stuff at each other. When you listen, or when I was listening to some of the LAN parties back in the day, it was awful, but it was a lot of fun. That's why basically I really like gaming, because of this like no filter stuff. And if you are filtering everything and suddenly you are careful because you cannot use this and cannot use that, and then instead you have to use this and you have to use that, you are changing the gaming medium as a whole into something different. And it's no longer the stuff that I fell in love with, for example. And I think a lot of people are feeling this way. So in a certain sense, you are right. Not completely, but yeah, I think we know approximately like what kind of impact was made by certain people in the gaming niche. Let me put it this way. John is saying one half-baked historian created the Yasuke myth. Yes, exactly. And now we have Tucker Carlson doing worse with his pet historian Cooper. Like I said, it doesn't matter who will be in charge. The ones in charge, if everything's digital, they have the chance to change whatever they want. And it will be very, very hard to go back to, let's say, proving what it was before. What was the truth originally, when everything's just digital. Snake is saying, I love history, but I even got to say everyone is changing the history books. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Yes, I've seen it with the commies, like it was very obvious because it was so blatant and so one-sided. But it doesn't change the fact that the others are doing it as well. So no matter who's in charge, they will always try to change, let's say, the history or the events or the reciting of the events in their favor. and it doesn't matter who it is, right? So it's not, I think that's also not something that would be. And I just got a note, disconnected, reconnecting. I hope you can still hear me. Reconnection successful. So I do hope that the live stream is still going on. So I've got a note here. But let me know if something's wrong. I can still see the meter moving, and I'm hoping the live stream is still going through. But yeah, it would be a very long debate, I think, if we would go into the details about who's changing history and when it started, because we would have to go way back, I think. Yeah. And Olivia is saying, I think these blackouts need to be longer than a week, yeah, in order to make some like real impact. I mean, it's a nice signal if enough people join, but that's all it is. It's just like a signal. It would really not make a big financial impact. And Olivia is also saying, I hear you. Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, I have to like knock. We're still going. So it's good compared to last week. It's awesome. Last week was awful. So yeah, that's in terms of the history. Let me just check what I have in my notes, because I do think I wanted to mention something more. Yeah, I've made because when I was like preparing the topic, I've made like I put down some of my thoughts just not to forget them. Oh yeah, in general, this is detrimental to the whole industry. They will sell fewer games because fewer people will be able to afford to buy them for the full price, which is starting to be ridiculous, bordering on $100 per game. So that will be the next thing. So it will just not really work out well, I think, if it will be only digital, and for this price, many people will just wait for a sale. If PSN will, for example, just do only exclusives and the games will not be available on PC or on other stores, then people will not be even able to buy them, which will in turn again just result in fewer sales, which in turn, because they are stupid, will just result in increasing the price again, because hey, we need to make the same amount of money as before or even more. But if fewer people are buying the games, we need to increase the price. So it's a vicious circle, I think. And yeah, game preservation will become even more important. So that's in terms of mentioning GOG. And considering all of this, and that was my last thought, which I've written here, considering all of this, I'm wondering how they think the PS6 will sell. I'm sure it'll still be a good revenue stream for them, but I don't think it'll be up to their expectations, especially when the pricing will go overboard, as we heard. And there were like extreme prices mentioned of I don't know, almost 1.5K, or somebody mentioned like 1.2, 1.3. That's already, and I think I also have seen already some, I think I was showing it also on the last stream, the projected prices. There is not a big difference anymore to a gaming PC. Why should I buy a console that's just like tied to one specific store, to one specific company, and just offers a certain amount of games, let me put it that way, when I can buy a PC already for almost the same price? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's not going to be into the favor of gamers if this trend will continue, and it has like multiple implications. I'm afraid of that. And Snake is saying, I also find it funny how people are trying to defend Halo doing so well, but it's not. If you look at the numbers, it's so bad. I mean, I just have to compare it with Failguard. I have to come back to that one. I think whenever they sold a certain amount of copies or not even sold. I think it was like but they had active players or something like that. They were just boasting about it, like how many players they have, and in reality, it was nowhere near the expectations, and it was absolutely nowhere near like the return on investment money. Let me put it this way. So. They have made a game for a couple of $1 million, and they would have to sell a couple of million copies, and they didn't. But the moment they sold, let's say 1 million, they already were screaming, "Success! We have sold 1 million." Although they would have to sell, I don't know, like 10 million in order for it to be really successful. So it's kind of this twisted showcasing of the numbers, like, hey, we sold 1 million, that's great, but you would have actually need to sell like 10 million in order for it to be a success. So it's really funny, and I think that's similar with Halo. Like everything's fine, it's doing so great, but if you like really compare the numbers, then you realize, nah, it's really not. It's really not. And in this day and age, when all the games are costing a ton of money and millions of dollars, if you sell 1, 2, or 3 million copies as a AAA studio, for example, then that's just not enough. That will never get you the cost back which you had. Needless to say, it will not really generate any revenue. So, like in terms of money that you are able to invest further into a new game or into the studio or whatever, you will be still at a loss. So yeah, success. Yeah. Let me check what else I have, but I think the reaction from Nure was quite like spot on. And then also another thing which I have mentioned. Let me just change the screen again, just to show you something. So Vara has also posted, and I think this is also something that will be like the impact of this physical disc discontinuation. So if you have a look at this, she purchased a copy of the game for like $53, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if I can see it right. And it now costs between $140 and $200. So the market for the physical media, the pricing will also explode over there, because people will be happy if they can get their hands on some physical games. And I think this will have a negative impact on those games as well, or on the physical media as well. The prices will increase. And again, it's a shame, because primarily the market was there for people who cannot afford to pay so much money for the games. They were able to buy certain games which are maybe older as physical media with a certain amount of money, and it was still, let's say, feasible. But paying between 140 and 200, it's no longer feasible, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is a good direction. Definitely not for the physical games as well, and not for a lot of people who were also buying and selling physical games. So yeah, for those who are selling, sure, they will sell for more money. But for those who were like looking for something and they were hoping to buy a certain game, the price will be for sure higher. Yeah. So that is one of the reactions to this as well. I think this will be also impacted. And then this one, I've noticed that. So previously, and last week, if we would have the stream last week, whenever you scrolled through the PlayStation posts, you could see that they have been like community noted to hell. Like there was a community note under every single of their posts. I mean, you can at least like see that they are like being ratioed. So there are people ratioing the posts, but the community notes are gone, or the vast majority. At least I cannot see them anymore. And I know that there's been a ton of community notes, so I'm quite sure that they have done something to have those removed. Let me maybe try to scroll a little bit further, but no, yeah, it's all gone. So last week, if we would be scrolling through this thread the same way as I'm doing right now, you would see like community node, community node, community node, and people calling them out. Oh yeah, see? Like here, this one is still there, July 26th. Sony is pushing an all-digital future without being upfront about its limits. PS5 downloads can't be played from USB drive, and expanding storage requires an expensive NVMe SSD. Digital games are licenses, not true ownership. Physical disc preserves choice and ownership, and they have been like community noted like this for every single one of their posts. And now I think most of the posts are gone. Yeah. Sometimes you can still see them, but like, yeah, I think they did something to have the most of them reviewed. So that was another, let's say, portion of the outrage. The people were like community noting them to hell and ratioing them to hell. Also here, like 2.3k likes, but 5k responses. So yeah, it's quite clear, I think. And then... Oh yeah, like I mentioned, so GOG basically is using this currently, the situation, and they are making a lot of marketing in their favor, which I'm not even surprised at this point. Like, it's a good time to market GOG. They do have a lot of positive perks for the gamers. And for example, I don't know if it's still true. I think that was posted on the 30th of July. But they had, for example, like I mentioned, Baldur's Gate 3 was 40% off for sale, like on the platform. And you can see a lot of also posts in terms of the games that they have managed to preserve, some classics, etc. It makes sense if you are on X to check out like their account and what they are posting, and also, of course, naturally check out their store. Because really they have like a lot on offer, and also newer games. So yeah, definitely it's worth. If people are not aware of them, which to my surprise, I have seen posts where people said, oh, I wasn't aware of it, like they didn't know GOG. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So I just wanted to mention it. And let me switch back to see your comments. Okay, so no new comments. I hope we are still like connected, and hopefully everything is working fine on your end. I do want to mention, like, let's say maybe the last thought to this topic. From my perspective, this is just one more confirmation that it makes more sense to, let's say, support more the indie devs. Let me maybe switch to the screen. So from my point of view, I think the indie studios are now the ones which we should support, because we can see where it's heading with the physical media. We can see where it's heading with the big AAA studios. I mean, mass layoffs are incoming still. I believe there's a ton of studios that will be gone by next year, probably. And the indie devs are relatively, let's say, struggling to get their games out there, because the market is so flooded with all of the games, and naturally most of the people are focusing, whether it's the creators or the gamers, when they are looking up something, they are focusing on the more known titles, and there are little indie gems which really like don't get the traction that they would deserve. And really, I think they deserve more, let's say, highlight and more space. And I will be more than happy to let's say show you more of these indie games as well in the future. I know I said it already before, but then I was playing certain games which I don't want to mention. I already talked about it in the beginning, and it's just an endless game, so I've wasted a ton of hours on that, and I would rather prefer to play something shorter and maybe from an indie developer, and then just show you what's there. So there is one game actually which I'm planning to play and post on the channel. Yeah, it will be tight with the time, I will see, because next week at this time on Friday, the expansion for Mafia the Old Country, Man of Honor, will be releasing, and I'm already really looking forward to that one. So I will definitely play it and post the playthrough also on the channel. I posted the previous, the game, almost the whole one, aside from the last few minutes where I just gave up. But the playthrough is on the channel, so I will definitely also post the expansion to the channel. Hopefully, I will not go crazy with the car races. So that one was coming for sure. And I will be also playing one thing, at least one, maybe two, and I will show you. Let me just prepare it. Okay, yeah, I have to show you these ones, but let me skip. Okay, and let me switch the screen. And Olivia is saying, I'm excited for the DLC. Me too. Me too. Very much, very much. So yeah, I will be posting it for sure. But let me switch the screen again. Hopefully it will be working. So there is this one. I have mentioned this game already previously. Deer and Boy. I know it is maybe not something that would be typical for the channel. It's not an RPG. It's not really something that would be, let's say, a typical RPG game in terms of sci-fi or fantasy that would be introducing on the channel. But I do like this little indie game gems, yes. And this one just looks so damn cute. I have to say, it just looks so awesome. It is a platformer. It's not necessarily something that I would be normally playing, but like I said, it really looks so cool and so cute, and I really want to play it. And I was looking at the reviews, and as you can see also on the screen, it says that the reviews are so far very positive. So the game is already released. It's out there. It costs like a really relatively small amount of money. I'm not sure if it's let me see if it's actually there, like what does it cost. Yeah, 19 as a 20 euros or $20. And if you want to buy like a deluxe edition, which is just 5 euros or dollars more, you get the soundtrack and stuff like that. So, or you can buy a bundle. I was actually thinking about the bundle first before I bought it, because it's a bundle with Neva, for example. And it's like currently it's on sale. So if you decide to buy it, go ahead. It's like a nice little indie gem, like I said. And I would like to also post some of the playthrough on the channel. And the other one, which I think is also worth checking out, I'm not sure if I'm going to play it, but I just want to mention it. I also was talking about it already last year or 2 years ago, even on the channel. So it's a Czech studio that has made this game, and it has really a nice music. I really like the music as well, and as you can see also it has very positive reviews. It was released on the 21st of July, and what really got me specifically was the fact that they have embroidered the characters. So if you look at the characters, it's like embroidered. I think there's like on X, and I'm not sure if it's also here somewhere in the videos, they show the process of how they were creating the game, and it's just fantastic. So I think it's also worth to check out this one. It's really also a game that has very positive reviews, nice little indie gem. And again, it also costs like 20 euros. It's in today's world where games are costing 80 euros. I think this is like nothing, and it's really worth it. So those two definitely are something that I would suggest to you to check out if you like to have a look at those indie games. And I would like to mention something more because we were talking about Steam and we are showing stuff on Steam. So there is on Steam also one more thing. So like I mentioned, they've made the gifting easier. So you can now gift the games to whomever you like. I think you just need to email, so gift to email, and it will work. So I think that's a great option. You can also gift across regions. You can check out from wish lists. I mean, I was gifting some of the games that I did this year to somebody else based on their wish list. So I think that's also great if somebody does that. But for that, I think you have to have the person as a friend on Steam to see their wish list, and then you can gift the game this way. So they did expand the options. Some of those have been already there, but now they have made it a little bit easier. So that's another big plus point for Steam. But what they also did was, and I think that's a good plus point, let's not talk about the pricing, because the pricing for the Steam machine is still crazy, I think. But okay, aside from that, what they did was they have released like 3D CAD files for the Steam machine. And what that means is that basically you can create on a 3D printer your own custom faceplates and entirely like new case design. So you can create your own case for your Steam machine, and I think that's an awesome customization. I think this is really great. So they're trying to, give at least something back to the people buying the Steam machine. I think they are aware of the pricing. I also believe that they have already said, okay, they would love to make it a little bit more cheap, but the problem is that the components, the parts, they need to buy them. Again, it is as it is in this day and age. It's currently the prices are going up, so it's very expensive for some of the components, and I think that's why the Steam machine is costing the amount of money that it does. Yes, it's not exactly great, but again, on the other hand, they are trying to like at least do something for the players and give them something back. So I think this is a great idea. I think whoever came up with it was a cool idea. So that one was great as well. And I think that the people who are going to buy the Steam machine are going to definitely use that if they have a 3D printer. So that's a nice idea. And let me see. Let me check. Let me change and let me check what else do I have. Because I had something more, I think. Oh, yeah. So in terms of games and what's currently being released and for what pricing, I think what is very important, and it's reflected here in this post. Let me just change again. So the Expanse Osiris Reborn has made a post where they were asking what is the most important for a space RPG. As you can see, they've gotten quite a few responses, and almost 80% of the people are saying the story and the characters are the most important part. Then the second most important, if you will, is the gameplay and progression. And only, 2.7%? I have to switch the screen on my side. 2.1% has said graphics and visuals. So I have to go back to the stream where we discussed the Unreal Engine 5 games, where I said, I don't need to see every single leaf on a tree. I don't care about that. And unfortunately, it seems like the most of the studios these days are focused only on showing us every single leaf on a tree instead of focusing on the story and the characters. And I think this is the correct response, or this is what the gamers really value. And this is something that I think most of the studios need to keep in mind when they are making the games. And I have the feeling that most of them are just not. They just completely ignore this, right? So I think it's a good indicator for the Expanse Osiris Reborn that if they are asking these kind of questions and they are listening to player feedback, that this game will really be very interesting and very special for us to play. I really have much more, let's say, positive thoughts about it and hopes for it than for Exodus, I have to say. I'm not saying Exodus is bad, because I'm still waiting for, let's say, the female June to be revealed, or some more gameplay, or maybe some more information about the game. Mostly what I would like to hear is a little bit more dialogues, to be honest. But in terms of player feedback and what's important for the game, I think the Expanse, or in the studio, the Allcat studio, is really going in the right direction. So they are trying to focus on what the player feedback is, and they are adjusting. And I'm just not really having the same feeling from Archetype and from Exodus, to be honest. So yeah. And in terms of what the studios are paying attention to, let me just check the microphone, okay. There was a post, and I have to come back to Horizon again. I think the reactions are just speaking for themselves. So at the time where people are complaining about PlayStation, they are currently working on a, let's say, boycott against PlayStation. At the time where studios are asking the players for the player feedback, where indie games are being more promoted because everybody's just so fed up with AAA, and where we see AAA studios canceling and games and doing mass layoffs, you have Guerrilla, who are just posting this post, where they post from our home in the heart of Amsterdam, we're celebrating World Pride. And they post this BS. And of course, when they posted it, the original post had locked comments. They had locked the comments. As you can see, only some accounts can reply. Naturally, what the people did, they reposted and commented via reposts. And let me tell you, most of the responses were not positive. And this is just one of them. Game designers wanted to join Guerrilla to build innovative games to drive revenue, but when devs' mindset shifts to serve a woke ideology, it compromises revenue and players first. Ideological hiring prioritize wokeness over players first. The studio acts like a woke hub. And you can see it also reflected in the videos that I've made about Horizon Forbidden West. So in general, the game is good. I'm not saying the game is bad. The game is really good. It has a lot of positive aspects. But compared to the first game, what really stood out to me like a sore thumb was all this DI stuff that was just shoehorned into the game so blatantly and so obviously that it was just, it was really not something that I would be fond of. And like I said, you can see the reactions, and the reactions from the people here is not really like positive. There are some like which were agreeing to that, but most of the people that have been reacting were, only some accounts can reply, clowns. The reactions were not positive. Let me show you that. So why am I not surprised? I mean, they come out with Horizon Hunters Gathering, and then they come out with this crap, and I just think that a lot of the people who were still having some hopes for the studio and for the third game to finally be released and be normal, let me put it this way, many people are just losing hope at this point. I from my side, like I said also in the review, I'm not even sure if I will be playing the third game. One of the reasons is, of course, if it's not going to be released on PC because they leave the PC market, then I will absolutely not buy a console, I can tell you right away. So I rather don't play the third game than buy a stupid console for that. And then if it releases on PC, I would be anyway waiting for the, let's say, reviews and for some feedback. And if it's full of this kind of crap, then I don't even want to play anymore. So it's just I'm just so fed up, with that. So that's something that I wanted to show you as well. So this is also something that's going on at the same time. I just think the timing was completely off, and the somebody please tell Guerrilla to read the room because they obviously don't. So yeah. Let me check your chat. Oh, there's quite a few. Snake is saying, I think the big corporation's going to have to let the indie games in more. Yeah. It's funny when the game community is fed up with all this and actually saying, keep us out. And I'm seeing a lot of the LGB without the T, movements and people posting stuff like that. And you can also see it on social media that I can see it in, let's say, my circle of people that I know, whether it's friends or former colleagues and things like that. So there are some people who are saying, okay, I don't want to, let's say, belong to this movement officially anymore. I just want to live my life, but I don't want nothing to do with this circus which is currently going on. So that's no longer something that I can identify with. That's what most of them are saying. And I'm not surprised that this is happening across multiple countries because it's become a circus, to be honest. It's just really a couple of people, really a small minority that's just going really crazy, and they are doing unhinged stuff, and most of the people, the normal people, and it doesn't matter what their sexuality is, most of the people just don't want to belong to this called unhinged people. I don't know how to put it. So nobody wants to identify with them. We just want to keep our distance, and it is the same for straight people. It is the same for gay people, and this is just for anyone who's let's say, normal person with common sense, I would say. Yeah. And Snake is also saying that's why I won't play the new Halo, not because it's a bad game per se, because I like the gameplay, how it looks. Boss woman demeaning Master Chief and Cortana sounds like she's bitching all the time. Oh yeah, have you seen the face, Cortana's face? I think it was modeled based on a guy. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen somebody laid a male face over it, and you can see it's exactly the same face. So I'm not sure if that was made up or some AI or something. I'm not really in the, let's say, looking into the Halo games, but I've seen this one, and I was just wondering, okay, if that's really the truth, then that's crap. It's really just these Vogue studios are just going overboard with this nonsense. And Olivia is saying, I haven't seen the new Halo. What did they do? Let me see if I can actually maybe find it in the meantime. Let me just try to Halo Cortana, and let's see what male face. I think let's see if I can find it. This guy, I think there was somebody who did lay over those two faces. And let me see. Images. Oh yeah, I think this is the one. Let me just show you on the screen. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. Yeah, let me share it on the screen. So I hope you can see that. So basically, if you take this guy's face and you compare it to this face, it is exactly the same face. It's basically his face. Halo's Evolved campaign's new Cortana was modeled after a man. The community noticed masculine facial features and quickly discovered the likely face model used. They're speculating that the gender change is part of the game's narrative. There was an animation where they laid over the faces, and you could see it's exactly the same face. So I think it's somewhere on X. When I find it, I will post a link in the description below after the stream. But yeah, when I was seeing it, I was like, oh, hell no, this cannot be true. So yeah. Yeah, Olivia is saying, oh my goodness. And Snake is saying, yes, it was lol. Yeah, yeah. It's the same face. Like I said, I have to find the animation where you see how they laid over the face. And Snake is saying, play the old way she talks to the ship captain and play the new way she talks about the ship captain when they was leaving the ship and Captain Keyes took over the ship to crash land it. That's a perfect. Okay, I haven't played the game, so I'm not sure what's the difference. But if you are already spotting, let's say, some differences, why do I not wonder, right? Today, in general, this is why I'm also not so fond of seeing when somebody is announcing a game remaster or something like that. Like it's never the same. They keep adjusting something in the games. It doesn't matter for the devs. It's just a couple of details, but in reality, there's so much changed and stuff that's so important for the gamers that they notice. And this was one of the things that the people have noticed. So I think it's just crazy. Yeah, it's awful. Drink. I hope you have some still. I still have. So cheers again to good games, let's say, and to fewer male faces instead of female faces. Let me put it that way. Okay, I hope it's working. Okay, it looks to be working. So, like I said, it can happen, and we could see that it did. But I am happy that it was working for as long as it did, to be honest. So, let's see what the new microphone will be doing. I will hopefully have a better streaming with that new microphone when it's here. But in the meantime, I'm happy that it worked for as long as it did. So it is obviously something combined, so software and hardware, unfortunately. So I hope with the new microphone, it will be completely working without any problems. And thank you very much for letting me know. So there was one more thing which I wanted to show you. And that one was quite fun. Let me switch. Just for the fun of it. So yeah, this is a typical Zendaya face. That's why I'm saying like and nothing against her personally, but I don't understand why she's being put into every single movie lately or every TV series, because that's exactly the only single facial expression that she has, like 99% of the time. And it doesn't matter what you're watching, whether it's Spider-Man, The Odyssey, or whatever, like the guy is depicting it perfectly. So yeah, that one was quite fun. I think he nailed it exactly. And yeah, let me see, because there was a couple of things that were like going on that were shared. Yeah, this one is good. Modern video games, the consultant, the Q&A, the localizer, the investor. the journal and the writer slash fetishes. Yeah, I think this is true for quite a few years already. So yeah, and yeah, again the EA acquisition or the EA buyout through the Saudis and Mafia the Old Country. So yeah, from my side, dear and boy, yeah, so from my side, that would be all that I had prepared for today. I think it was quite a lot anyway to talk about. Let me switch. And I hope that you had some fun. I hope that you liked the topics and the discussion. I would still love to like hear your opinion on some of the stuff, like the BioWare, whether they will be sold and for how much, and if you think that somebody will just like, you know, buy them and just keep the IPs and tell the studio buy, or if actually somebody will be like really investing into the studio and trying to, let's say, keep it alive. That would be maybe interesting to hear. And the other one is, yeah, let's see what it will be doing with the PlayStation, whether the blackout in the last August week will have any kind of impact on PlayStation. Like I said, I'm quite skeptical, and especially after GTA 6 will be coming out, I highly doubt that it will really make a big dent. But who knows? We'll see. I'm looking forward to the reactions and to what actually will be happening. But I'm skeptical, like I said. So that would be it from my side. Like I said, I'm really happy that the stream has worked out. I'm really happy that you have all been here. That was really great. I was a little bit afraid whether it will be working out and whether people will not be like frustrated or disappointed after the last two times. Last week it didn't work at all, and the previous one, if you remember, it was like the microphone has switched to the headset and it was just an awful sound. So hopefully there will be something better going on from now on when I have the new microphone. So hopefully it will be solved completely and it will no longer be disconnected. But I will be still keeping an eye on that volume meter down there, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, next plan is definitely to play Deer and Boy, and I will be posting it. And then Mafia the Old Country, the expansion. Not sure which one will come first. I will say it right away. I'm still enjoying a lot of the sunshine and the great summer weather, so I'm not spending that many hours behind the computer as usual now during the summer, because I really want to enjoy the good weather and be a little bit outside. So videos are not coming as frequently as they are throughout the rest of the year. But I will be definitely then posting something after Mafia the Old Country expansion Man of Honor is out. Definitely that one will be coming. So those are the next two things for sure that I will be doing. I might also do a Mafia the Old Country in a nutshell. That could be quite fun to do. And then who knows? Let's see what's going to happen, and I will be definitely posting when there is anything new on the games that we are following. So whether it's the Expanse, whether it's Exodus, or something going on in the studios for sure. So I will be keeping you updated about those games for sure. And then also I will be checking out some other topics, new what's going on, and maybe check out some new games and let you know about those. So that's just FYI what's currently like planned, and I'm hoping that you are still enjoying what I'm posting on the channel, even though it's not always working out as well, like with the streams, and even if it's not coming so often as it does. But I'm really grateful for all of you that you are still here and that you are keeping the channel alive, and you keep me motivated, to be honest, to put out more videos, because without you, basically, there would be no reason why to post the videos. So thank you for being here and for joining the stream and for, you know, just commenting on the vids and everything. So it's really much appreciated that you are all here. So I really enjoy having you. And yeah, that would be, like I said, that would be it from my side. It's about time also for the doggos. It's 11 p.m. over here, so I have to go out with the doggos. So I hope you still have a wonderful evening and a great weekend. I do hope that you have a wonderful summertime as well. Like I said, I hope you do have some vacations, or you did have, and if you had that, it was great. And I hope to see you then maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks. Let's see when the next microphone arrives, and maybe I will do just a short stream just to see what the microphone is doing. And yeah, let's have then a good chat again about what's going on currently. Hopefully fewer bad things like PlayStation. So thank you very much to all of you for being here. Thank you also for all the chats and for your reactions and for everything that you have posted. And like I said, I wish you a very nice weekend and have a great time. Thank you. Bye.